Good afternoon, Ginginanam. I wanted to come here to share a legend with you guys, and I know you guys really like my legends. We'll start off with a really easy one, and I know you guys all have heard this one. It's about the Dzunuk. So sorry, my dog's here. This is Alfred. Um, so there's this little boy that's sitting in this room, and his dad asks him, let's say we'll say his name is Alfred, okay? So Alfred's sitting in this room, his mom and dad call him and they say, Alfred, we have something for you, come here. So Alfred goes running down to go see his mom and dad, and they pull out this gift, and so they hand him this gift. And Alfred was so excited. He has this little gift in his hand, and he opens it, and it actually was a Kwagu'ł. I'll show you what a Kwagu'ł is. Hold on one sec. Here's a Kwagu'ł. So Alfred's really excited, and he's like, wow, what am I going to do with this? Wow. And he's imagining what he could do. So anyway, he takes off. Well, his dad reminded him that you can't loan that Kwagu'ł out because if you do, the other person might cut themselves, and you don't want to be responsible for someone cutting themselves. So he made this little promise with his dad, and he went off to the park. So he decides that he's going to. He's just too excited. So he goes and looks around, and he sees wood, and he starts carving away, and he's carving, and some of the kids are admiring him, and they're so curious about what he has. So they look down, and they said, hey, Alfred, can we borrow that knife? No, you might cut yourself, and then you might blame me if you get this cut. And I told my dad, I made a promise that I'm not allowed to loan it out to anybody. So the kids, of course, sometimes children get upset if you don't, do what they say, or if they ask, they don't take it very well. So anyway, the kids took off on him, and they left him alone because they felt like he was being mean by not loaning the knife, but really is just trying to protect them, right? So he's carving away, and he could feel something. So he looks behind him, and he's like, I swear I just seen something. He's thinking. So he looks over his shoulder, and he gets really spooked out. So then he looks again, and he sees this thing creeping, and it takes a little peek at him. So he's really scared. And it was this big thing, and he says to all those people that was at the park, all his friends, he's like, hey, I think I just seen Dzunuk. And they're like, you're just saying that because we don't want to play with you because you're not sharing. So he's like, no, I'm serious. I think I just seen Dzunuk. So anyway, they just, we're not loaning your knife to us, so then we're not playing with you. And you're just saying that because we don't want to play with you. And they're not being really nice to this little boy and not believing what he's saying. So anyway, the little boy was like, maybe I am just seeing things. Anyway, so he continues to carve away. And so as he's carving, he sees this big thing behind him. So he looks, and what was standing there was this big giant. The big giant had sunken eyes. It had lips like this, and it had hair all over its body, big dot mark. So the little boy got so scared, but he got we call it dulamheed. It's like if you see something and you can't move, you're just like frozen because you're in shock. So anyway, he tried to run away. So he tried to run away, and that thing was so big that he just was able to reach down and pick up Alfred and threw Alfred into this big basket that it had on its back. So anyway, then that Dzunuk went over and started to grab all the other kids and threw them all into the basket too. So that Dzunuk starts making its way up into the mountains. So Alfred thought really fast, I have that Kwagu'ł. So he starts cutting away into the basket, and he makes enough room for himself to squeeze out of into that little hole, and he plops to the ground, and he starts running as fast as he could back to the village. So he gets back to the village and he tells them, Dzunuk has my friends, and he's just hysterical. And all the parents grab all their all their things to go and help their children, and they go up into the mountains. The little boy Alfred starts showing them the way all the way into the mountains, and they came up to this big house, and they go to the door, and as soon as they got in the door, they could see the children. They were hanging. They're hanging by their feet, and there's a little bit of a fire burning underneath them. And what they noticed right away was the children obviously are scared. They're hanging upside down by their feet and on their ankles, and their arms are dangling down. And they said, "What are you doing with our children?" And they're freaking out. And they noticed that the children had like sap in their eyes. It looked like bubble gum, but it was like shut. He shut their eyes. So the kids are dangling there. And Dzunuk turns around. "I'm going to smoke them and I'm going to eat them," she said. "No, you're not." And they're really crying, trying to make a really quick plan. So, but Dzunuk looks over to one of the ladies and says, "You're so beautiful. You don't even have sunken eyes like me. Your lips don't stick out like this. And you don't have hair all over your body." So anyway, the lady said, "You could look just as beautiful as me. What you need to do is, I can fix you up." The lady thought really fast. "I need you to go out and go get one flat rock, big enough for your head. So that's what you're going to lay on. And I need you to grab a kind of like a sharp rock and another rock as a hammer, and we're going to fix your face up." So Dzunuk was really, really excited. But what do you think's happening here? So anyway, they go out, Dzunuk goes out and grabs and gathers all this stuff and lays down, and sad story is obviously obvious. What happened was, so Dzunuk lays down and prepares for whatever they're going to try and fix her up and make her look beautiful, like that lady, and they end up killing her. But what I like to say is that I really, really think about Dzunuk goes around in the in the world, and everyone's story is that she steals kids. And my thought is that she steals kids because she's a really lonely old woman. I don't think she actually eats them. I think she just wants to spend time with them. And poor thing is sad because she's not happy with how she looks, and so she always wants to be a little bit different. And she's trying to ask how she could be pretty. And I think that's a really sad story, and I believe that we just need to be nice. We always need to be nice to everybody. And the twist to that story could be that they started to just hang out with her more and have the children, making her, like, including Dzunuk into everything because she's another being. I mean, we do it with dogs and cats and other animals and beings, right? So it's just nice to be nice, and I think that Dzunuk is really just lonely, and include her in all the stuff. And yeah, so anyway, that's the story. That's how I was told that story. There are a bunch of versions of how that story can go, and I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I'll be sharing another one tomorrow. De la Casta.